Hi everyone, I'm Ronya. Thanks for being here. Today I'll be talking about Hotel Rwanda, the 2004 film about the 1994 Rwandan genocide. I'll be looking at the movie through a post-colonial lens to show how colonialism fueled the conflict and how white privilege allowed the West to ignore it. Throughout the presentation, I'll be using some pictures, quotes, and short video clip to show themes of oppression and resilience. Let's start with the context of this theory. The post-colonial theory asks two main questions. How did colonialism create the Hutu and Tutsi conflict? And also, how did white privilege shape Western inaction during the genocide? We'll focus on ideas like racism, Eurocentrism, and subjugation. The map on this slide shows Belgium's colonial rule in Rwanda, which created those divisions and left lasting damage on the country. On slide 3, we see how Hutu extremists use radio propaganda to spread hate and violence. They called the Tutsis cockroaches, dehumanizing them, and the quote, "cuts the tall trees," represents how racism and colonialism fueled the genocide. It shows how one group's survival was seen as depending on destruction of another. The short clip I show highlights the power of his propaganda and this propaganda and how colonial ideas continue to control people's belief even after independence. On slide 4, when the violence begins, the United Nations and Western nations withdraw their peacekeepers, leaving Rwandans defenseless, and the quote, "they're not sending help, Paul. We're on our own," shows white privilege and Eurocentrism, where Western countries saw African lives as less valuable. The photo of the UN tank evacuation represents this sense of abandonment and the ongoing global power imbalance left by colonialism. This theory helps us to see how colonialism created the Hutu and Tutsi divide and how white privilege and Eurocentrism allowed the West to ignore the genocide. It also shows that oppression, marginalization, and subjugation didn't end after independence. They continue to shape identity, power, and global relations today. On slide 6, we focus on Paul's resilience. He used diplomacy and intelligence to protect over 1,200 people, showing courage and resistance to oppression. He stands against racism and marginalization, reclaiming identity and humanity even through fear. The photo of Paul shows how one person's actions can challenge the legacies of colonialism. And at the end, colonialism created the Hutu and Tutsi divide in Hotel Rwanda. White privilege and Eurocentrism allowed Western countries to ignore the genocide. But Paul's resistance represents a strength and humanity in the face of oppression. This post-colonial lens shows ideology with still influence, power, and justice today. The Rwandan flag and memorial photo reminds us of the ongoing impact of colonial mentality in the modern world. Thank you so much for listening.